This is problem 1.35 from Francois Tardieu's Backgammon Strategic Concepts book, Chapter 1. Here's the position. We're blue. We rolled a 4-3. Our home board is in the bottom right. We'll look at two possible moves for the 4-3. I'll give you my quick observations, some of Tardieu's key points, Tardieu's expert analysis with feedback from XG, Tardieu's summary, and at the end of the video, I'll modify the position, which brings up a couple of questions for myself. Here's the first possible move, making our 5-point, also known as the golden point, like this. The 5-point is considered by many top players to be the best point to make in the beginning of the game. That's why it's called the golden point. Makes the golden point, equalizing our home board with whites. Now we have 2 points covered compared to white's 2 points. Safety is our blot that was on the 9. These are our blot on the 10, vulnerable. Leaves us with an inflexible board. We still have 6 checkers on our 6-point. We've stripped the 8-point and also the midpoint. Second possible move is to bring 2 down from the midpoint, 13-10, 13-9, like this. Covers our 2 blots. Loses the midpoint, but our advanced anchor, the 18 here, reduces the necessity of keeping our checkers on the midpoint. Leaves our 6-point stacked. We can use our checkers on the 9 and 10 points to make innerboard points without worrying about getting hit. Here are the final positions with 2 possible moves. Look at the pip count, the strength of each player's board, and the threats facing each player, and think of which position you like better. Quick recap. Here's the play where we make our 5-point, the golden point, before and after. And here's the play where we bring 2 down from the midpoint to make 2 outfield points on the 10 and the 9, before and after. So Tardieu's key points. Tardieu says if we make the 5-point, our board becomes as strong as white's, our home board does, and we have made the best attacking point, our 5-point. However, this leaves us with an unbalanced position with 6 checkers on the 6-point, a stripped 8-point, and a stripped midpoint, not to mention the blot on the 10-point. If we bring 2 down from our midpoint, we're creating 2 temporary structural points, which cover all of our strategic points, 4, 5, and 7. They put pressure on white's blot on the 3-point, and white cannot take the initiative as there are no more blue blots. These 2 blots are gone now. They've been covered. Our next goal will be to activate the spares on the 6-point, which will work beautifully with the builders on the 8, 9, and 10 points to make innerboard points. So Tardieu and XG say that making the 5-point, our golden point, our board does become as strong as our home board becomes as strong as white's, and we will have the best attacking point, the 5. However, this leaves us with an unbalanced position, 6 checkers still stacked on the 6. Both the 8-point and midpoint are still stripped, and we have a vulnerable blot on the 10-point. The best play, according to Tardieu and XG, is to bring 2 down from our midpoint, which helps us to cover all of our strategic points, puts pressure on white's blot on the 3-point, also removes the 2 blots that white could have hit, taking away white's initiative. And our next goal will be to activate the spares on the 6-point to work with the builders on the 8, 9, and 10 to make innerboard points. So this is the best move. Tardieu summary: despite its strength and strategic value, it is sometimes better not to make the 5-point immediately, if doing so will sacrifice your flexibility and distribution, which is what would happen if we made the 5-point instead of bringing 2 down. I modify the position and put a blot in our home board. So in the original position, we had 6 of our checkers stacked on the 6-point. Now we've got 5 on the midpoint on the 6-point, and I've got a blot either on the 4 or the 5. I tried it both ways. And in that case, we should cover the blot. It's either on a 4 or a 5-point. Make the innerboard point and hit white's blot on our 3-point instead of bringing 2 down from the midpoint. Now, making the new innerboard point steers us towards a blitzing game, and we should follow up by attacking our opponent. I think I'm interpreting this correctly, but I might be missing something. Let me know if you agree or not. If you see something I'm missing, if you have a question or comment, all feedback is welcome. Make sure to check out Alex Eshaghian's excellent review of Tardieu's book on YouTube, as well as Sunny Florida Backgammon Club's informative series of lessons on Tardieu's book, also on YouTube.